order to take advantage of the fields provided by Drupal, we'll need to make our entity fieldable. In order to do that, we'll need to create a custom bundle. A bundle is basically just a collection of fields that you can put on your custom entity. We'll dig through some code that makes this possible and allows us to leverage the fields provided by Drupal and add them to our custom entity.
Now that we have our custom video entity rendering and the admin form taken care of, let's take a look at how to make our entity fieldable. Making our entity fieldable will expose it to Field API so that other fields can be attached to our entity and then later made use of in views. Right now, if we visit our admin interface, the only operations we have available are to edit or delete our entity. In order to make the entity fieldable, we'll need to dive back into code. Inside of hook entity info, we first need to tell entity API that this should be a fieldable entity type. So we'll set fieldable equals true. We'll also need to provide a bundle. A bundle is just an implementation of an entity that we can attach fields to. In this case, we only need one bundle, so we can go ahead and hard code it in hook entity info. If you need an example of a configurable bundle type, you can take a look at the node module. We'll give our bundle the same name as our entity type, video. We'll specify the label in a human readable form, also as video. And we'll provide a path to the admin interface, so Field API can find the forms it needs to attach in order to make the entity fieldable. This will be the same as the admin interface we've already seen. We'll also provide an access argument so we can restrict access to this entity management form. We'll go ahead and use the same permission we defined earlier. Now that we've made these two changes, let's go ahead and clear our cache and reload our admin interface. You'll notice we now have a couple of extra tabs, Manage Fields and Manage Display. By clicking on Manage Fields, we'll be taken to the familiar Add a Field form. In this case, let's add a simple category field. We'll use a term reference. Field API with entities works the same as it does with any other content type to which you might be familiar. We'll go ahead and fill out the required forms and save our settings. We now have an extra term reference field on our entity. There's still one more step we're missing though. If we go back to the list page and take a look at the edit form, the field is nowhere to be found. We need to inform our entity controller that we have fields attached to it. To do that, we'll open up the admin controller and we'll look for the hook form implementation, function video form in this case. Let's attach our fields right below the submit button. In order to do this, we need to use the field attach form function. It takes a few parameters: the type of entity you're looking for, the entity itself, the form it's attaching fields to, and the form state. Now that we've made this addition, we should be able to reload our entity edit form and see our extra category field show up. There it is. That's all there is to it. Any additional fields we add through the Manage Fields form will also show on our edit form automatically now. That's all there is to it to making your first bundle and making your entity type fieldable. Entity API and the controller will automatically do things like field attach load when we go to view our entity now. To demonstrate that, we can go in and edit our entity. We can go ahead and add a category to our entity and then take a look at the entity being rendered and to see the field being displayed. A quick check of the Manage Display tab will show that we should see the category label above and then the category itself formatted as a link. Taking a look at the entity we edited shows that the category is displaying as expected. Now that our video entity is fieldable, we can manage the fields, control their configuration and their display settings from our video management interface, just like we have with node types, or users, or taxonomy terms, or file entities. With just a few lines of code, we've been able to make these powerful changes possible.